Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage, and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Okay, so primarily I'm still looking for that potential that we are either completed a B wave here and we're starting to drop for the C wave, in which case the 1656 is going to be our zone that we are looking at, or alternatively that we are looking for the potential that we could still see a B wave, which could actually come up towards the zone of this 2061 to this 1960 area. Now, with that said, what we could see here is that potentially we have something like this as an ABC pattern, in which case we could actually look to come back up into these higher zones here. So given the current structure here, what I'm looking out for is the potential that we could see a move up to this 2008 area. Now, we need to get back above these highs for that to play out, obviously. But as long as we actually remain below this high here of this 1940, we need to be cautious of further extension where we actually start to break down directly in the C wave to the downside, which is looking for that one-to-one of that 1656. So there's a couple of things we were discussing in the previous video. We're looking at the possibility that we could have a triangle here, which is still viable. So we're going to go over that, as well as the possibility that from further back here, we could have this as a forming a B wave here as a flat, and then getting a 5 wave move back to the upside. And that could actually look to bring us back into this higher range. So we need to be cautious of that. If we do sweep these lows, what I would be looking for then is that potential that we could actually start to see a 5 wave move play up, and then look for rejection above this A wave high again, and then look for a deeper corrective move off the back of that. So that's what we need to be aware of within the counts here. Really, as long as we fail to take these highs again, we need to just be careful of extension to the downside here. Okay, so now we were talking about the possibility of the triangle yesterday, and what we were looking for was basically something like this, where we were looking at this as A, B, C, D, and then looking for this as an E wave triangle. Now, the problem that I have with this is that we actually came up too high now. We can look at this potentially slightly different here, where possibly this D wave was actually over here, and this would be A, B, C, D. Probably actually better to put our C wave into this location, C, D, and then we have this as an E wave to the upside. Now, we did cross this C wave, but then we rejected straight off of it. So I am looking out for the potential that, possibly this is the beginning of a move to the downside. It is also possible that we could have this triangle in a different way, where basically within here we have this as A, B, C, D, and then this is E, and then we've looked to break down, and that would be looking at this as A, B, and then looking for that C wave to the downside of that 1762. So if that's the case, this could be that flat correction. So now what would we be looking for if it is actually looking to break down directly? So we're going to discuss that first. What I'd be looking for is basically something like this. At the moment, we only have 3 wave structure here, so we're going to discuss the possibility that we could actually still be within a bigger triangle. But effectively, what I'd be looking out for here is that we have something like this as a wave 1, 2 here, here another 1, 2, 3, and then we're looking for this as a potential 4th and a 5th. So if we stay below this 1854 area, what we could actually see here is a direct breakdown towards this 1815 area to this 1803. If we do pass this, if we cross down to this 1802.27, what we could actually have here is a bigger impulse from further back here, where this is 1, 2, all of this is 3. We'd get a 4th and a 5th, and then basically that could actually look to bring us back down to this low, which we we're talking about in that flat correction. So this is what I'm keeping an eye on. If we do break down in an additional leg here, this could look to bring us towards this 1-to-1 here of this previous 5 wave structure to the downside. Now, if this is the case, what we'd be looking for is the move back to the upside. If we develop in a bigger move and we actually come back up and take these highs, then that flat correction stays alive. If we fail to take this high here of this 1939, what I'd be looking out for is the potential that this could become a 1-2 here, and then we actually break down in a bigger way for a bigger 3rd wave, which could actually look to take us down towards the zone of this 1649 as a 1.618, and then we'd have to be on the lookout for that potential of an additional 4th and a 5th. to the downside. Now, this could look to take us towards 1630 to 1599. If we do get a bigger breakdown like this, what we'd have to be cautious of is whether this is actually just a 1 and a 2 here. And then actually this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this becomes a bigger 5-wave sequence where we would look for another 4th and a 5th wave within the sequence here. And then that would basically tie us into a bigger move from further back here where this is 1, 2, this all becomes 3, 4, and 5, and then we get a much deeper corrective structure. So really what we want to do is if we want to maintain, that possibility of the bullish case here, we want to stay above this 1649, and we want to start to move away from this zone and get back above, that key rejection area that we discussed within this. We really need to get back above 2061 before I would look for more confirmation that this corrective structure is completed to the downside. Now, what we need to be careful of is if we just form a single 5-wave move to the downside, what we could see is something like this as a flat correction, and that would basically mean that we could be moving back down into this low range here, even possibly just retesting this low here would be sufficient. What I'd want to see is, whether we get this 1-to-1 to the downside, and then we get a 5-wave move to the upside. If we did have to come down to the 1762, what we could then see is a 5-wave move up here. 1987 to 1932 would be our potential target area for this C wave, and then we could actually look to, continue this move down from this point. Really, as long as we do hold this low, we can look for that potential of, a extension to the upside here. But given the current structure, I do think it's more probable that we're going to see a drop to the downside. Now, whether this holds this higher support range here, then reverses as a flat, or whether we get a bigger sell-off here is obviously, we need to still see how that plays out. But if we do start to, for as long as we continue to hold, or to continue to follow rather, this 5-wave structure that we've got marked out here to the downside, which is looking for this as an additional 4th and a 5th. For as long as we continue to follow this, if we do break down into the 1793 area to the 1779 area, we're going to have to just watch that retracement to up. 3 waves up would mean potential continuation to the downside. 5 waves up would then, give us that potential for a bigger flat correction here, which we look to take this high again. But really, what we need to be cautious of is until we actually take these 2 highs, we could just continue to extend directly to the downside. So we're going to have to just, watch how this develops here. If we start to move back up here, invalidation of this 1st, 4th, and 5th wave would actually come by crossing back above this zone of this 1861 area. But even if we do cross this one here of this 1878, what we'd have to be careful is that we don't have an additional 1 and a 2 in here, and then we look to break down deeper. So what we really want to do if we want to look for a reversal here is get back above these highs and start to invalidate some of these additional legs to the downside. For as long as we fail to do that, we need to just be cautious that we could see that direct sell-off to the downside. Now, one thing I am looking out for here as well is the potential that we could have a bigger triangle in this manner, where we look at this actually as A, B, all of this becomes a more complex C wave, where basically we would have had this as a W, an X, and a Y as a C wave double zigzag, and then potentially what we have here, because at the moment we don't have that additional 4th and 5th, so if we fail to develop this 5th wave down, what we could actually have here is just a simple A, B, C structure to the downside, which could tie in with that idea of having a bigger triangle here, where this is A, B, C, D, and then we'd be looking for a 3-wave move up for E. Now, the trend line for this would directly above us be sitting towards this 1932. Obviously, we have this potential channel here that could offer us resistance as well, and we have some lower areas here. Now, if this is a potential D wave completed, what we could actually look for here is the possibility of a 0.618 retracement, which would look to bring us back into this zone of this 1897 to this 1894. Now, this would be looking for that possibility of a truncation in this as an E wave. Obviously, If we follow that 5-wave move down, so if we get another leg to the downside here, that would confirm the internal leg here of a 5-wave structure. And then we'd have to see whether we get an additional fourth and fifth. If we, however, just reverse to the upside here, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this level primarily. Then the next level I'll be looking at would be towards this 1922 at the top of this channel here, and then obviously this trend line here. And that would be the last sort of place I'll be looking at this as potentially being a bigger triangle within the structure. Now, what we need to also be a little bit cautious of is there is the potential of a breakout here. It's not my preferred count, but what it could mean is that we are looking at that expanding diagonal where we're looking to find support in this zone here of this 1895 to this 1970. So that was looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, it is still possible this could be W, X, and Y to the downside completed, and we could be looking for, a move to the upside. And what we could then look for is that possibility that within this, rather what we have is either this move over here as a WXY, and as an A wave, this is a B wave, and then we get a 5-wave move down for a C wave, in which case this could be a flat correction. Now, the only way we'd have confirmation of this would be breaking back above this 2090 area, and that would be looking at this thing basically as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'd look for a fifth wave to the upside. If we do get a 5-wave move like this, what we'd have to be looking out for is, basically retracement down, and then this could actually signal that this is becoming either a bigger 1, 2 or a bigger A, B, and then we look to actually push up again for a C wave to the upside. So this is going to be key here if we want to look for, bullish potential. We need to hold this 1818 area. If we start to lose that, it becomes less likely. If we break down past 1785, it is also invalidated. So that is one thing we're going to have to keep careful of here. Now, if we do take this low, it doesn't necessarily mean we can't see that move to a move to the upside. So we need to be cautious of that fact. Like I said, we've got this possibility of a flat here. So if we do take this low over here of this A wave, which is currently sitting at this 1785, I'd be cautious of a 5-wave structure up. If we do, like I said, possibility of bigger A, B, and C as a flat, and then we could look for this as A, B, and C, and then look to break down. Obviously, once we get this C wave to the upside, we'll be able to get a more definite target to the downside. But if we had to just eyeball it and say went up towards this, let's go, this 1.618, which would be this 1987. 121 would potentially be down here towards the zone of this 1692. So that's what I'm looking out for here. If we do, continue up in a 5-wave move and take this low. If we just have that direct sell-off, we need to be cautious though. However, it could just be looking to break down in a bigger way, and we could see rather something like this play out where this is actually just a 1, 2, and we're still looking for that third wave here towards the zone of the 1663 for a confirmation of that. Okay, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below. And also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.